Hello, we are Official Sofa, which is a sofa retailer. Previously, we have to perform all operations manually through Excel. Our managers and salesperson have to input and update all records and information manually. For example here, managers have to go to the worksheet sales to input a new sale and the corresponding information manually. The manager then needs to select the data and generate a pivot table and create a chart each time he would like to look at the sales performance. This, however, is time-consuming and has a high chance of making errors. Therefore, we have developed an application to improve the efficiency and minimize error. Now we're going to demonstrate the application. First, the user has to go to the folder containing the macro-enabled workbook called Official Sofa. After opening it and clicking the button, the user has to enter the user ID and password, which can be found in the workbook salesperson. Now, if the user leaves the text box blank and click the login button, a message box will appear saying that you have not entered the login password and ID. If the user enters a wrong user ID and password, another message box will appear saying that the user ID or password is incorrect. The user can click the reset button to reset the two text boxes. Finally, if the user enters a correct user ID and password, the user will be able to access our staff system. Now, the user has to select the folder containing the four workbooks, which are Customer Info, Delivery Info, Sales, and Salesperson. If no folder is selected, a message box will appear saying that there is no selected folder and the application will stop. Now, if the user clicks the Browse button again and select a wrong folder, another message box will appear saying that you are not selecting the correct folder. Finally, if the user selects the correct folder and click OK, the four workbooks will be displayed in the list box and the frame below will be enabled. Now, the user can click the checkbox and click the Next button to proceed. The user can change the existing salesperson information. By selecting his ID in the combo box, the corresponding salesperson information will be extracted from a worksheet salesperson and automatically returned in the field down below. Once the user has corrected the information and clicked the Update button, a message box will appear telling the user that the information is updated. Now, we can see from the salesperson worksheet that the information has indeed been updated. Now, if the user clicks the button Clear Data, all the fields above will be cleared and the user can now add a new salesperson. A new and unique ID will be generated. This text box is disabled from the user to prevent him from changing the salesperson ID and causing the ID to overlap or make any other errors. The user now can fill in the form and input the new salesperson information. The user must input the information in all the text boxes and should not leave any boxes blank. If the text box value is missing, for example, telephone number, a message box will appear and ask the user to enter a telephone number. The telephone number must be 8-digit and numeric. Another example is if the salary is missing, a message box will ask the user to enter a salary. Now, if the user clicks the Update button, a message box will appear. We can see from the salesperson worksheet that a new record is indeed being created. Now the user can go back to the previous homepage and select another task like updating customer information. By choosing existing customer option and selecting the customer ID, the corresponding customer information will be returned to the field below, which is extracted from the workbook Customer Info. The user can change any information similar to the previous page, for example, marital status, and some new controls like changing number of family members by using the spin button, and income level by using the scroll bar. When the user clicks the Update button, a message box will appear saying that the information is updated. We can see from the Customer Info workbook that the information is indeed being updated. Now the user can click the button Clear Data to clear all the fields above. The user can now choose the New Customer option button to input new customer information similar as before. If any value is missing, such as birthday, a message box will appear to tell the user to enter the respective value. All the text boxes and combo boxes must be filled in. The scroll bar in income level has a small change of $1,000 and a large change of $5,000 for the user's convenience. Once the user clicks the Update button, a message box will appear and the workbook Customer Info will have a new record. Now the user can go back to the home page to add new sofa order and delivery. Once the user is directed to sofa order page, the user has to select a salesperson ID and the customer ID from the combo boxes. A new order ID, date and time are automatically generated. If no items are chosen or if nothing is selected in the list box, message boxes will appear to ask the user to add the item before submitting the form. The user should first choose the color and quantity of the sofa and then click Add Item. The user can select the item from the list box and click the Delete button to delete it. After choosing the correct color and the amount of products, a total amount will be displayed beside the list box and the user can click Confirm Order. Once the user clicks Yes, another message box will tell the user that you have successfully made an order and will ask the user to fill in the information in the following delivery page. The order ID and customer ID is extracted from the sofa order page, and the delivery address is extracted from the corresponding customer in the customer info workbook. If the customer has made a mistake, he can click the Clear button to clear the field above and start over again. Once the correct delivery address, district, and time slots are chosen, the user can click the Submit button and the message box will tell the user of the successful order and the chosen date and time. The sales workbook now has the new record added to it, and the delivery info workbook also has the new record added to the bottom row. Now can go to the home page and select Perform Sales Analysis. The first option is to select the data range from the column total in the sales workbook. By clicking the button in the Ref Edit control, the user is automatically directed to the sales workbook, and the user can select his desired sales and press Enter. The selected range value is returned to the Ref Edit box. The user can choose the functions that he wants to perform on the selected sales. By clicking the button Show, the selected functions will be calculated and shown in the label below. By clicking the Clear button, all the fields above and the label will be cleared. Now the user can select total sales as the data source and select the functions that he wants. By clicking the button Show, the required functions will be calculated and shown in the label below. The user can go back to the home page and select Generate Reports, and the user will be directed to the report page. The user can add multiple items to the list box on the right and remove multiple items as well. Once the user has chosen his desired items that he wants to generate a report from, he can select the item from the list box on the right and select the chart type at the bottom. The user can click the button Generate Reports, and the message box will tell the user that the required report with the required chart type is created. A new workbook with the name Sales Report is created. The first worksheet contains the pivot table and the chart type of the selected data. If the user wants to create another report, he can select a new item from the list box and select the chart type and press the Generate Report button again. A new worksheet will be created in the previous workbook named Sales Report. If the user go back to the user form and click the button Save As, he can select the folder that he wants to save the newly created workbook and press Save. A message box will appear and tell the user that the sales report has been saved. Lastly, if the user has finished his work, he can click the Exit button, and finally, he will exit the user form.